Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today I want to talk about block targets. Now this is an 11 target and this thing is heavy. It retails for about $270 and I'm going to guess it weighs, I could be weak, but it probably weighs about 25 kilos. And it's like, it's pretty heavy. Now it's a solid foam, like it's a hard foam. Like and when I say hard foam, it's not like hard like some 3D targets. Like you can push in, you can see my fingers making a dent. It's the 11 core that they use on their targets, their target butts. And they've made like this cube out of it. $270. Now you'll see other targets like this, like Reinhardt's, and there's probably a few other companies that produce them. Now there's also a cheap target on eBay that sells for about 90 bucks that I want to show you. Now I'm going to first off say, before I show you this target, that most people will buy the $90 target because it's $90 versus $270, so you can buy 3 of the $90 ones for the price of the $270 one. And at $270 people are going, I don't really want to pay $270 even though it's a quality product. So I want to show you the $90 one. Now this is the $90 one that you've probably seen. Now this is what's filled inside of it. It's like material. Now the problem with this target is it's glued together with like glue. Now this target, you can see how many shots the guy had at it, and he hit it from, you know, the sides. Now what it is, it's a soft foam. So like if I was to shoot an arrow at this, my arrow would go straight through this foam. It's a very soft, low budget, you know, foam. It's not a high density foam. So what they've done is they've basically made a cube out of this soft foam and they've stuck material in the middle of it. Like that. Now I didn't cut this target open to show you. The customer returned it. And I'm just going to show you their sides opening up. So this, and there's the handle there. You can see the glue's not really sticking. The sides are coming apart there. There could be various reasons why it's coming apart. They might have stuck too much fabric in the middle. So how's this going to pull up an arrow? I think it's going to pull up an arrow really well, the $90 target, because it's got soft foam which the arrow is going to pass through. It's going to hit the material, and that's what's going to stop it. Now the weight of this target probably weighs, you can see how easy I can throw this thing up, it probably weighs 4 to 5 kilos. They're the same physical dimensions, but the 11 target would be almost 5 times the weight. It's a much denser, solider foam, and it's completely foam. So I suppose what I want to do is, let's shoot an arrow at this target and let's see how well it stops an arrow. Let's see how easy I can remove it. Now one of the things you're gonna say is, well, look, this is blowing apart, is this a problem? Now for me it gets back to value. This is 90 bucks, and whenever I look at targets I'm going to say how long will a target last me. Now if I shoot at my local archery club I'm going to pay $10 to shoot there. Will this target last 9 times? Well, this customer probably says he lasted 1 time and this face fell off. Now for me, purchasing a product like this, if I know it's of low quality, you can apply an adhesive to this, use ratchet straps and glue it back together. So is it a problem for me as a consumer? For me as a consumer it wouldn't be a problem, because I know that the 11 target is $270 and I'm like, oh, do I want to spend $270 or not? Now I'm going to say at $10 a time, would I get 30 uses out of the 11 target? Absolutely I would. The arrows would remove very easily. Am I going to get 9 uses out of this? The guy got 1 use. I'm going to say very easily. You can see like he shot arrows at the front here and you can see there's actually no arrow holes which have passed through. So what's happened he's trying to pull the arrows out, and in trying to pull the arrows out, he's actually pulled the face off. Right, so if you stuck this back together with ratchet straps, use a better quality glue, wrap this all together, this target would be fine and be fine to use again. Now the advantage of these targets is you can take them away, you can throw them at distance, you can, you know, like sight the bow and see how well you shoot at 30-40 meters. They're very portable and it's light to use. So with that, let's see how this uses. But before I do this, I'm going to just go to the targets I use to do my reviews on. Right, so I've got two targets here. One is, this is the Fastgo. This is the Fastgo target at the top here. This is a hard foam, like this stops an arrow. And you can see down here I've got little holes. Now I've been shooting this target now for several months. And my arrows, you can see I can put my finger through some of these holes. But I've fired at this target for weeks on weeks and weeks. Right, and you can replace the cores and like, yeah, you shoot it out, but at $400 a target, am I going to get 40 uses out of it? Well, I've got well over that. It's been here for months. Now down below I've got this foam target. Now these are EVA foam. They sell for about $80 behind me. What I've got packed in the middle of them is material. So I've got an EVA on the front, an EVA on the back. This target here, you can see I can get my hand right in there. That target's probably 2 years old. I've been using it and you can see how much I've shot it. But there's parts of it I haven't shot, and I'm like, well, for $80 I shot it for 2 years. Now I could have brought a new EVA foam, put it down the front, or put it in front of this target and got plenty of use out of it. But for me, what I wanted to do was actually shoot higher up to change my angle of my shot to simulate more of a target shoot. So the cube target is really good for if you're just going away on a shoot, if you're going away camping, you're going away for the weekend, you just need something to practice, or you're in the middle of nowhere, you're in the outback and you just want to shoot some arrows. That's where the $90 target comes in. If you want to shoot, I'm going to say shoot some broadheads. I don't want to shoot broadheads at a $290, $270 11 target and shoot it up, because I'm like, oh, that's going to be expensive. I don't mind shooting two broadheads at the cheap $90 target, because I'm going to be able to use it to sight the shot in. So now the material is going to be a problem with broadheads, and maybe we need to test how the broadheads go into the material target. But let's just start by seeing how an arrow lasts at the $90 target. Okay, so I'm up here, hopefully at 18 meters, and we're going to shoot at this arrow. Now, shoot this target. Now, I'm shooting a 60-pound bow, I'm shooting thin VAP arrows. So what that means is high penetration. Now, if you're a hunter and you're shooting an 80-pound bow, like one of my customers who is a security guard and he's shooting thin arrows, well, he's going to get more penetration than me. That's an 80-pound bow with thin carbon arrows, high penetration. But for a normal person shooting thicker arrows, they're going to get less penetration because they'll be thicker and less velocity. But this is a pretty good indication of what sort of penetration to expect from the target. It'll be interesting to see how the target sits on the ground, because with the 11 target, you're going to get the target is very heavy, so therefore it won't move. I suspect this target will move when I shoot at it. So let's just get this bow set up. Actually, that was pretty good. Like, you can see the target bounce when I shot. Now, one of my problems with this target is when I've shot the target's moved. Now, the arrow's not pointing straight back at me now. Now the arrow's flexed around. So instead of seeing that, I'm now seeing this. So this is where you get arrow damage. When your arrow hits the side of the other arrow shaft from the side, this is where you can damage your arrow. So my problem is, when I normally shoot arrows, I shoot a whole pack of arrows, like 36 arrows an end, and I'd get very little arrow damage. I get plenty of knock damage, but very little shaft damage. In fact, shooting these VAPs, I don't think I've busted one. But I run the risk now that I'm going to hit it from the side and break the arrow. All right, let's go and see how those arrows pull out. I think these arrows are going to be really easy to pull out of the target. So here's the arrows. You can see they haven't penetrated to the back. Now, they have penetrated through into this cloth material here. Now, the full length of my arrow is there, so you can see it's pretty much penetrated through the foam through to the back piece of foam. Now, I think these arrows will be easy to pull out because it's generally easier to pull arrows out of fabric rather than the foam. So pulling out an arrow out of the Fastgo target, the hard dense foam, is generally pretty hard. Like, it requires a fair bit of force and generally an arrow puller to do so. The 11 cores are soft and you can generally pull those out pretty easy. I think you can see, like, I can pull these out like with with little effort, with one hand, really not even, I'm going to say, as easy as the 11 target. So my problem with these this target is not that it's cheap. It's not that it's cheap. It's not that it doesn't pull the arrows up, because I think it does. I think it does a pretty good job of pulling the arrows up. The problem's with the gluing, that they haven't used a quality glue to glue these things together. So I think what I should do is we'll find some glue, we'll use some ratchet straps, glue this thing back together, we'll ratchet strap it all together, glue it together, and then we'll shoot some arrows of this, and we'll do another video showing how this, you can see these, like, the glue just ripping apart, and that's just the material inside. It's just not sticking well, so they haven't used a good enough quality glue in my opinion. So I'm going to grab some decent glue, ratchet strap this target back together, and instead of throwing it away, I think I'll just use it to do reviews with, and I'll probably sort of take it away when I go away, and I do like shoots when I go away, when I do reviews on the road. So, but as a thing, like $90, you cannot compare it to the 271. And I suppose, what do you expect for $90? You probably don't expect the glue to fall apart, but kind of I do, you know, like I'm like, it's $90, what? How do they build these things for $90? Like, I think it's incredible how you do it. And they've used shitty glue. I know you've used crappy glue, and I'm not making an excuse for it. I'm just like, I couldn't build this target for $90 with layered, this is layered foam and it's been cut. They've put some, you know, they've obviously put off scraps of material in here from obviously camo clothes they make. But overall, it pulls up an arrow, and I'm pretty happy with the result. I'm pretty happy that I can pull the arrow out easy, and for 90 bucks, am I going to get 9 shoots out of it? I think this thing's going to last me for ages, because the material which is in the inside literally doesn't wear. It just lasts and lasts and lasts. Like the material in my target I've been shooting at for 2 years, and it's still good, and my foam is only that thick at the front. My foam's 10 centimeters, and that is probably 20 centimeters thick. So I'm guessing I'm going to get a pretty good life cycle out of this target, if I can stick it together. So I think we'll do another video where we stick this thing together, but I'm saying basically, if you're going to buy one of these and you don't want the thing to fall apart, don't buy one, because I think it's going to fall apart. But if you're like, well, I can go down to Bunnings and buy some glue and ratchet strap it all together and get myself a cheap target, well, it's probably right up your alley. It's a bit like the 3D targets. You can buy the 3D targets for 120, 190 bucks, and then you can buy the Reinhardts for 600 bucks. The Reinhardt's a better target, but it's like so much more expensive. So with that, I'm going to leave you to ponder whether you want to buy the 11 target or the $90 target, or the Reinhardt target, whichever one it is. I mean, one of my problems with selling these targets, I used to sell the Reinhardt target, and they offer a lifetime warranty or a 1-year warranty, and I sold the whitetail target which offered a 1-year warranty. What people would do is they'd shoot broadheads and shoot the one spot and literally get pass-throughs within a week, and they'd say, well, it's not covered, it's covered by warranty, the pass-throughs. And the problem with being in Australia is like, well, I'm responsible for the warranty, and it costs me more than the cost of the target to get those targets into Australia. And the targets had pass-throughs because they shot the same hole continuously. And even though the target's a good quality target, it was like, what do I do now? And so as a result, I stopped selling them. Because it's like, I can't cover the warranty, because if they'd shot all around the place and they didn't shoot the one spot, if they didn't shoot broadheads to get bigger holes, so therefore you stop selling them. So with the 11, there's no warranty. With this thing, there's no warranty. If it falls apart, it falls apart, but then the customer's not happy. So then, anyway, you get the gist of where it's going. So what this video is if you're buying one of these targets for 90 bucks, they're gonna stop an arrow, but don't expect it not to fall apart, and expect to have to go down to Bunnings and buy some glue and glue the thing together and ratchet strap it all together. And that's what I'm going to do in one of the videos coming after I go to Bunnings and buy some glue. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching. Bye.